In 1858, the Esterbrook Pen Company was founded in Camden, New Jersey. Nearly 100 years later, in 1957, they introduced this pen. This is the Safari, the Esterbrook Safari, and I'm going to call this the first generation. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this is all plastic, and it is a very thin plastic in the cap. Esterbrook realized that the caps were cracking, so what they decided to do was they changed the cap to a metal chrome-plated cap. This one is in really good shape, no cracks, no scratches. Same thing with the barrel and the finger section here. This is a cartridge pen, all plastic. It unscrews, and there is an original Esterbrook blue-black cartridge in there. It is a short cartridge. And as you may have seen, this does have a screw-in cap. Chrome-plated finial that's angled at about 45 degrees, starting at the height right behind the clip, going down. You can say almost similar to the Hemisphere and the Expert 2 Waterman's. Now it's very difficult to see, but somewhere on the barrel here it does say, I think it's right here, Esterbrook, made in USA. Bottom finial as well as chrome plated, a thin band on the cap, and the threads are also chrome plated. This has a 1555 Gregg fine nib on it, and from what I understand with the Esterbrook's is you could take out the nib and feed and swap it out, so you could buy them separately, similar to, I would think, maybe you don't want to buy a new pen, or you just want to upgrade your pen. You don't want to, you really like the pen. This is a really nice looking pen, and I like the color of it as well, that you could take it out. Now, how easy it is to do, I don't know. I've never tried it, but you could upgrade it. Similar to what I would think, like you have an old turntable that you really like, and instead of going out and buying a whole new turntable, you exchange the cartridge just so you can get a better sound. And that's kind of what I'm thinking in the way of these Esterbrook, these old Esterbrook pens. And I've seen some nibs on sale on eBay. A lot of them sell out pretty quick, but this is again the steel nib, 1555 Gregg fine point. It is very firm nib. Now obviously this one is not inked up, as you saw. They made several different colors, 6 different colors. There was black, there was dark blue, light blue, which is what this one is, green, gray, and red. How long they made them to, I don't know. Dimensions on this pen: capped is coming in at 5 7/16 of an inch, or 13.8 centimeters. Uncapped, it's coming in at 4 3/4 of an inch, or 12 centimeters. And then posted, I do not like to post pens. And that was one of the reasons that, or another problem that they had when they switched to the metal cap, was they said that the cap was scratching the barrel. I don't like to post pens, like I said, and posted was coming in at 6 1/4 or 15.9 centimeters. This is a long clip. This is coming in at 1 3/4 of an inch, or 4.4 centimeters. And the barrel diameter on this is 11.6 millimeters. The grip section is fairly short, but the ridge here where the cap screws in is not prominent enough to really interfere with or feel uncomfortable when you're writing. I really do actually like the color. I didn't, at first it took me a long time, I can't say a long time, because what I was doing when I was getting pens at first, like I said, I'm more of a watch person than I am a pen person, and I was buying a lot of pens, and what I'd do is I'd take something like this, which is a very light pen. I would throw it in a box with other pens, and when I started making these videos, what I did was I emptied out those boxes of pens and separated the fountain pens, or the nicer pens, from just really the disposables and the Sharpies. I've got a whole box of Sharpies. you never know when you're going to need them, all different colors. And this is one that was just in there, and I pulled it out, and it's in really good shape. Fortunately, it didn't get damaged while it was rolling around with the other pens. Now let me weigh it. And of course I've got these two right here. Like I said, it was a light pen, coming in at 12.66 grams. Big disposable, 5 grams. The traditional Parker Jotter coming in at 15.37 grams. So get an idea of how much shorter or lighter that pen is than, say, a jotter that you may have sitting around at home. Right, well, like I said, I do like this color. It's not one that I probably would have bought if I went to the store, but because I found it somewhere and it was in my box and I pulled it out, I just looked at the other colors that there were. Black is just too plain. Dark blue is almost black. The gray I have no interest in. Green, no. Red, I would probably, if I found that one for a really, really good price, I'd probably pick up a red one. But, you know, next to the red, I think this is probably the next best color. Anyway, so yeah, there it is. That is the Safari by Esterbrook. First generation, from what I understand. It's probably not a call of first generation, but that's what I'm calling it for this video. So anyway, yeah, there it is. If you enjoyed the video, click like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and bye.